for no work done. He doesn't state this in his paper. He only glosses over it and says that they've done a lot of work. His government did a lot of work about interoperability. But he forgets to tell us that he was going to waste 1.2 billion, not million, or billion of taxpayer funds on a system that could not deliver what is being delivered now for $4.5 million. I think it's about 2,600%, the difference. That's John Mahama for you. Finally, please look at the claim to repeal e-levy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a scam. Just like one-time premium and the repeal of top tax, it is a scam. In any event, can John Mahama explain the difference in his 17.5% tax on financial transactions and his manifesto pledge to impose a uniform tax on all electronic transactions? Are these measures e-levy in disguise, and does he still stand by those measures? Because in the one instance, he implemented, the MPP repealed the 17.5% tax on financial transactions. MPP repealed it. In the other instance, it was in his 2020 manifesto that he was going to apply a uniform tax to all electronic transactions. What was that? Is that different from the e-levy, or it is the...
Sino ni pa wakasa esesia eyonyonyam ni lawyer ya obaben asama wono kitamudie kwankyerefo edima osunuko koko amanyuko no na osunuko koko amanyuko no ma ene yeda so ejina ukopie mu ewo tano not abaton peso so eno ewo ahafumantemo NPP emebru bia womo ewo ho no titiri pa eye police station executives ne omania brise krodom na womone bra abri nyina ene se womo de subo kase pa e de bo eye amanyuko no mpanifo na womo ewo national no womo etrem se eye mahebedwani owo honom eye ononyam ni Frida Prempeh no womo esoso ne so dodo womo esoso ne so enu nti nyama okoye kra ewo mpeso so ehonom womo etrem se abato a womo etu eyi mpanifo a womo ebeda amanyuko na namo ewo tano not honom no e kamia se ononyam ni Frida Prempeh wode ne ho ehyehyem wo penkrofo a kyese wo sanso egina biom se mahebedwani a wombeto aba ede ama no wonna womo esefata se wose yeto aba ede ma omo na womo ejina se na be amanyuko no womo betimi e break 8 na wompese womo break no enya de amame oma ho kwan enti womo echum se mame nso etimi to anamo bi se ya womo timi fa so boni nyina emfa monesa ne mo no womo de so boni nyina e bom panifo amanyuko mpanifo no womo ena esoso ne so a bibi biara obeka bia na chese womo age ede atom enti womo e fa yenso aka kire impanifo no ese so womo pese 8 ne ampania pa womo pese womo break ni dia womo hwe na mame Frida Prempeh womo pe kwan pa no mpa no emfa mfa se dia wo koso e wota no not honum die enya dia etweyi.
For instance, in Bion Kwanta zone, 6 police stations were left out. Yamfu zone, 4 police stations. Tanosi zone, 1 police station, and Boma zone, 2. In the provisional album, which we have intercepted, we have officers for these police stations, and worst of it is that the names are not those officers who won in the first round, but people who lost, and even some of them were drafted from other polling stations to serve as executives at polling stations where they do not have a vote. It is instructive to also make the case there has been unlawful removal of not less than 45 polling station officers from the album. We therefore see, among other machinations, as realization of her threat to police station officers, which should not be allowed to see the light of day. Nilaye connived with the member of parliament to institute an accreditation regime that tilted favorably towards the incumbent member of parliament. Who were these electoral area coordinators, polling station executives were asked to contact when no election has been held to choose them. The plan was to populate the venue for the constituency delegate conference with individuals whose name were not in the album, and to get them vote for aspirants who align more with the MP. This, among other things, point to one thing: the referee brought in by National has not demonstrated impartiality, as he is seen to be more in bed with the MP. We therefore demand his immediate recall from the committee and his subsequent replacement with a more transparent impartial and experienced officer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very disturbing to see a party that touts itself with having led major electoral reforms in national elections since 1992 is unable to internalize sale in its internal party elections. We therefore call on the national executive to check the excesses of the member of parliament and should stop pampering her as her popularity keeps dwindling in the constituency every passing second. We are committed to breaking the 8, but not until the issues raised are addressed by the party. Breaking the 8 will ever remain a mirage. For instance, in Bion Kwanta zone, 6 police stations were left out. Yamfu zone, 4 police stations. Tanosi zone, 1.
Seno, one more friend centre for Shimo and Omudi Sansem Nina, etimi editing centre for in your John one name, Ekasa ye, your Penny James at the Watchery, one no, and etimi Ekasa ye. Na edano eko piemo or my ganemo, ye mashibi job for Marco and son, one more away don kumano, emo, el mashibi jeffy, na one more a ye, mashibi junior with Jim Udima, addition watermelon south. About 1 person so Unyam ni Haruna Idrisu, mashibi junior with Jim Udima, addition more Boku Centra, Mahama Ayariga, and na mashibi junior with Jim Udima, addition more Norton, about 1 person so somewhere Okujeto Abrakwa, Sanipa Marco and saying, one would in Simbi, Echo Die Supreme Court, Nina F. 11 and says Supreme Court if you know for tabon found to send a beer 11 or ain't me bambe yemra ewo or my ganemo and an answer a year cotonima busum ne debt or so at 9 and a Supreme Court letting me trans semino so na echo reach not just say Supreme Court it was semino a diego say which is a woman a nina subia a was some woman de ever dine court no na abra court and she in echo every year no and no more any dom kumano one more any central for ekasaye and no mono your down man no a year Haruna Idrisu aka Adundum Bejai and what you are to your HM say. What just a omaniaji pa asema womo ediko dan court no ono akasa ehwe omo lawyer for se na omo cheche nsemu so na omo kasa ye ewo court na omaniaji papa wode nsemu ahodo bi esan so eka ho se na court ne call ye se de ema omaniaji na de ema omoniji nyina no wode ne nyina etimi edituja.
Some irreparable damage or hardship will be caused. Our hardship as we understand it is the disrespect to the Constitution by the action of passage into law of an Act 1075 with numbers below the minimum constitutional threshold of 138 members of parliament. Can you imagine? I heard the Attorney General laboriously arguing that it was a voice vote. So Ebenezer Kum voted with his voice from an ambulance, or he voted with his voice from a clinic to add to the voice vote, and he is insisting that 266 members of parliament participated in the decision and participated in the motion. 266 members of parliament after the minority of 136 walked out. Certainly, these are matters that the Ghanaian public can get better. But what is refreshing and heartwarming today is the second part of the ruling, which gives directives to the Ghana Revenue Authority to preserve and keep the money. At least some people will not be in a rush to collateralize it until the substantive matter is determined. For us, we raise this matter because it's of public interest significance, it's of constitutional significance, and we think that we'll pursue it to its logical conclusion. So we are very happy with the performance of our lawyers. We only pray that Ghana is not going to have two sets of laws. One that serves and protects the elected elite of a ruling government, and one that serves the political minority of an opposition. Judicial notice of our walkout, they walked out. They walked out when the budget was rejected. You know the numbers. It was 274. We're not told that quorum for decision was 274, as we have been told somewhere in someone's argument, at least not the court, that 266 passed the motion. What you people should note is that in parliamentary practice, the fact that you took a motion through second reading did not mean that at consideration and third reading, you didn't require minimum numbers. We still uphold the principle, at least Jesse Question was marked absent.
Tino onyonyam ni Haruna Idriso eno na wetime akasa no ye ton nsem no soe na ye de wakakopie mu ewo nsem foforo mu enche kra ye eye afi etwe mu abra ye ko ready budget ni wie pepepa 11 isemi ebeto odwa pepe eno wo mo sanso edito ho ese tobuta wodo a ewo ye kwantipon ahodo so a ye du ho driver fo yetimi etua bibi kakrakra ede ye oman ni yie no esa ni 11 nti ye be yi ni nyina de efri ho ampenia pa waswafo wono ena ehwe akwan ne akwantipon ho nsem so obone hu mode ehyeye ma sesei no me no kase onam kwantipon ahodo so enya de a obo stobut no ebi ezisi ho nanso enya de a womo eye adwuma egbomo na eno ye nyina ye nem se abanwe wode atodwa ss atobut adwuma no womo ahwe se won be ma wonna sebi omodi deman enya fe no mbesua niema ede akọ echi ombetimi akọ efu ombetimi aye adwuma dindin no ye de womo ena ede toto sa atobut ya no no mbetimi diska se na be ya bosom besom no na womo so ombetimi nya bibi ni womo ndibusua etimi ede abo mo ataso na ye yi sa atobut efri ho no e kamia ese mo abrabo mo niema enko yie kra na insentrefo eni bi ekokasaye na ebra ye no mo ekasaye opani ba ko wono de woye manager edima adisha mo wo eye aboso tobut honom no wone ipenifo ekasaya wo twem se niema nkoyie ko no nkasampo wo hu ne hwa no afensu no wono no mo eye adwuma wo mo hye na ase mre bi twem no adechie bia so wo mo fre na ni we ba eda mipeska we fre na mipetensilis mipe 5 cities wo twem se niema nkoyie kranti sabai ni se obemo mbodwuma fofo dia wo hwe na ntempa so wo mpa adwuma emfa emma gomo wo pani okasaye Abubakar Salifu yenkoshe.
Life has not been easy. Yeah, you know, life has been hard, I would say, but some of us, we're soldiering on. No, pay is not coming, no work to do under these hardship conditions. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes if I tell you, my phone rings sometimes, and then somebody will call me, boss, I need 10 cedis to buy food. Boss, I need 20 cedis. My son is sick. Boss, I'm sick, I'm in the room. Yesterday, I didn't eat the whole of yesterday night to this morning. Boss, please, if you have something small, I know you are also at home, but if you have something small, send it to me on phone. And these are the kind of things I hear every day. And as I sit here, I look worried all the time because I feel I'm also a net, but there are people who look up to me. You see, and I can't turn my back for them. So when such calls come, what I have to use for food, I have to give it up to them. Most of them, for my place like this, they can't even work aside because their condition was bad to the situation that they will only sit down just to take the money in the boot, change. And this kind of people, how do you expect them to go and do any hard work? He can't. You understand? He can't. So the person only depends on, right now, there is one woman at my place. She's even if she has to sit on the chair, you have to carry her to sit on the chair. So a person like this, how does he work? When she was working on the toll booth and she comes to work, the security men on duty will carry her and put her on the chair. After she finished with her duty, they will come and carry her up the chair. So right now, she's sitting in the house. What job do you expect her to do?
Na enwechi jumaye ni ba konso wono so na ono so ye juma e wo toll booth hono ma wono so echemo awa wo fem se we didem pa na wo sanso nye adwuma o ha wo fem oni na busuafo de nyame nkwa na onim opani di Michael eye bank bigida yenko ni enko hwese na ono so echeche ne nsem emu
say adwuma igu ya etifi mi se me mamie no me do nyina akoma me mame eno wa kurase enya kura me tu ese rent aso me niska me de betua me rent sitimi de adwuma na agune de in fact aha me pa amanye se kura na mete me so kura te me da kura me ntimi na even oba me nto kura me tuma kase oba no kone ba bi because se me nya adwuma me de mahwe no to adia in fact aha me de aha me pa because asitana no Edding my pa because I said disable pa wonya adwuma na otifie de Edding pa say unsabeko ano.
He says the situation has caused many of his colleagues, including himself, to be suicidal.
bebre me ne geba kokra ono kra me ko hunu kra na me ala kra na be sa me kwa me hye ne kran se ono mo mpae Nkopan adom aye so me ma ya adwuma Friday aye ti yem fa mo bota chire se de be ya ye be sa nya adwuma Friday aye no mo mo aye me na me kwa me hye ne kran o ti me ka che me plane se ya no ono no kra se oba wi asenko even ko ya sa kran ko wu ye kra enka sabrin ko on tete bi o e ya rehosem pa me se me ka bi e kire me ho se katama me pra ye ana me na ye se na ka me wu ya sa e wi ase bebrebe ya ka me bre ti nyame odo na ban wa ba na wa boa ye di sefo a wasa egu adwuma no e se yetifi ye nyeden na e se adwuma igu ya yetifi mi se me ma mienu me do munyina akoma me mame ene wa kurase enya kura me tu ese mrent
entino arahosem ne amanihu a wo mo a wo edi dem ananka wo mo ye adwuma wo to boot no eno metimi echechi o makonsem e de akire eye nsentrefo no ya to nsem no so de wakwa wie ewo nsem fufrumo na 11 year chance eye busuma ye wo ni de dikan ya eye communication telecommunication kase pa wo mega na mu eye MTN na CEO no waba be kasa wo chemu se imprempren de o how bebre ya chance se ye didate eye tax no 1.50% no edi efeso no e kamia se o how bebre e wo no chemu se o how we e betimi akoso saa kopim eye kitawonsa busu no ansana wo mo ankasa timi atrase eni wono wo mo ye adwuma mo no acheche omo nsemu acheche omo se na obi besende a ahia wosa wote na se de o haw no ebekoso pa na so ni nyinem no wo ka che customers ni ss woko na wonya o haw bia bo madia na friend penifo a wo mo ewo MT office ho na onu omo kasa wo be cheche nsemu e dia mo.
So initially, the SIM registration deadline was end of March. That has been moved forward. Yeah. Now, in the implementation, that will now derive the use of the SIM registration using the GRA's common platform is now the July 1. So essentially, that is when we get the full scope, and then we are able to complete the identification on either party. Right. And so with that realization and realizing we would not be able to achieve that now, is then the opportunity for those who may have been wrongly taxed to complain and get the refund. So that's why the refund process is there. And that's why for this particular modified approach, the refund process will be different from when we go into the full implementation, because the conditions will be different. So yes, with the modified approach that we've implemented, we do not have visibility on the other side, so that scenario may arise. I was telling someone that usually you look at the scenarios and you look at the percentage occurrence. Usually for the kinds of transaction trends we see, people will normally not send money to themselves on another wallet. It will be to their bank account or from their bank account to their wallet. So that scenario itself is a very minor part of the total volume. And so once we put in an efficient refund process, it should be able to handle the numbers that will be on that side until we are fully operational on July 1 with the full. So initially
no eda MTN no ena wetimi akasa wo cheche ni nsemu entimi agina ni nsemu isha na no pe kase me de bre wasa no pa no nsembrum kase no me de ebesi hanom aseda kase confirm o sa wonya bre ni adaje na wo hwe XTV ya no pa no nsia kase de ogina camera na chi ede maame eye faith DJYX etanechi say pintim de twa me tu ma wo MC aho eye Bismarck abla Alonso etanechi say pintim me producer eye Stephanie executive producers na Nadra Sapomena Offense na opening some two gan na me sraw say anope say bia wo di dwuma bi o pese ye bo wadwuma no hu de ro edema o na ehia nso be frɛ eye XTV ye marketing team no ye beji okuma bi na ya bode ro ediamo manipa nyina ehu bia ya wo hye ene wetimi aba be di dwa frɛ yen 0204 700 404 0204 700 404 ena no pay memfa sedan fama chichi beauty parlor miti ene me makeup fefefe wono ene ye emame fe chichi we can see na ye fia da na eboja ye amafo na beko wedding wono beko engagement outdoor ni nkeka ho bo madin wo se wo timi ye fe nti fe chichi baby owo bia obeba bisiese ho pa ediama frɛ no ɛwɔ 0547 254078 0547 254078 na de oma me African way yi so ehye matade fefefe eye Ayet creation so ɛwɔ poko ase wono so menka kyɛw say we can see baby bia wo ko bia wo pa atade bi edi akono bo madia ne du na so ye wo bɛyɛ ne fefefe ediama frɛ Ayet ɛwɔ 0242 389 851 0242 389 851 Obapa baby sakosiate eni me din me sorry sweet dear me nua bema microphone ata waye krado papa wode agudie mu nsem edi ebro ititemu kutwu na twen no esan say de ode ba ne de eso tre wai bayankasa me da se emamu ene hwe